Get back on this live right quick. So, it's Monday. I got up extra early, and it was grind time. Grind time. I want to make sure that I lead by example. I want to make sure that that whatever I'm doing is positive, and I want it to be contagious. So I'm feeling energy. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling like I'm a win. I got that action. I'm thinking of new ways every day to get bread. So it's grind time. And that's all. And I'm linking up everyone that's like-minded. I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Every day. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And when I have an idea, I make sure I put it in effect immediately. So every single week I go over what I did this week, what I was thinking about doing last week, did I do it, and what I'm going to do next week. And then I get excited about it. You know what I'm saying? I get excited about it. You feel me? And there's so many creative things happening right now. We making movies. I don't know if you read that announcement in page 6. We doing movies. I'm shooting comedy. I got a short film festival. We putting out OG stories. We've been doing Q&As. I figured out how to do screenings from the house. We doing the one drop thing. I'm trying to show everyone how to manage their diabetes, because it's important to be in control right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm trying to do is lead by example. Period. Somebody didn't get their socks? Leo? All right, hey, yo, somebody said they didn't get their socks. What kind of socks did you get? Because we definitely got socks. There's no reason you didn't get your socks. If you want to submit to the film festival, you could go to DDS Short Film. It's Gmail, right? Hey, Nicolette. It's DDS Short Film at Gmail. DDS Short Film at Gmail. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a film, you can submit it. My brother Jeremy is actually handling that. He knows the whole film festival circuit. He does short films himself. So just send it there, and then, we're going to figure it out from there. But at the end of the day, be creative and push yourself. Period. You got to do that. Wait, I'm going to try to see. Y'all know who Citizen Cope is? He's a rock star. I'm going to introduce y'all to Citizen Cope. If y'all don't know Citizen Cope, everybody Google Citizen Cope right now. I'm going to try to get him on the live. Hold on. I'm sorry about that. I was hitting my man Cope. He went on his live, and I was like, come on this live. You know what I mean? So y'all love Citizen Cope? Yeah, he's ill. Real rock star. The reason why I actually started to do rock and roll in the way I did it, because I watched his business model. Because he never has to have a single on the radio, but he's always on the road. And the songs is dead nice. And that's the lifestyle I like, not being dependent on the radio, not being dependent on a music video if somebody else wants to play, or not being dependent on doing dumb shit socially. You got to be dependent on your skills. And that's why I fuck with Citizen Cope. And his model is the one that I've actually taught to other people, because it's the sustainable model. If you make good music, if you have a good show, if you could play an instrument, you could either go out with your band or you could go out acoustic, And I've seen him do both. And I've also seen him actually still doing shows now, still making music now. And he's a general, because we're independent. So we're used to moving and dealing with what's presented to us. You know what I'm saying? And most people are used to being given certain things. So now that no one's giving them something, they stuck. But the general is Nicolette looking for a lighter. Say what's up.
Hey, yeah. Oh, and the socks will go out this week.
You saw his order?
Yeah.
Why?
I looked it up.
Why he didn't get his socks? All right, we can't. We got it. So I'm just asking. I'm not mad at you. I'm just curious. I'm sorry about that, bro. My bad. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure you get your socks. So yeah. So what I think everybody has to really understand is the world as we know it is over. It's over. And all we need to do right now is prepare for a new world. So if you was losing in the old world, make sure you winning in the new world. Period. That's all you got to do. So you should be excited. Stay safe. but stay focused and just figure out what is it going to look like in 2021 when it really, like let's say it doesn't open up till June 2021. That's what I'm guessing. So don't panic. What are you going to do till June 2021? What's it going to look like after? And are you going to come out of this stronger or weaker? I'm coming out stronger. And I'm going to show y'all, if you on my live, if you on my gram, if you looking at Dame Dash Studios, there is no excusing not coming out of this stronger. If you're not trying, you're going to lose. And to me, anything beats a blank. Just try. If you could think about it, you could do it. And if you think you're going to win day one, no. You're not going to win day one. If you win day one, then you're cheating or something happened and it's going to be temporary. You're going to have to go through defining moments. Shit is not always going to be easy, but you got to push through it. And that's what a general does. They push through it. And like I said, this is a war. So whoever's sitting down in this war, don't ever claim to be a general after this war. What's the purpose of being strong or claiming you're strong if when a real war happens, you weak? You sitting down. You sitting around complaining. You worry. You're not taking care of nobody. You're not a general. Don't ever call yourself tough. It's real easy to be tough when everything's going good. You got a lot of people around you and a lot of people supporting you. Tough is when you can move on your own. Tough is when you on your own can take care of a lot of people as opposed to a lot of people having to take care of you. And you should take pride in that. You know what I'm saying? Period. Yo, today's 420?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I did not know that. That is crazy. Oh, Citizen Cope. So let me get my man Citizen Cope. All right. Uh-oh. Fuck with in this business. And who I really consider friends. But I've known Citizen Cope for years. Yo, what's up, Cope?
What's up, man?
What's happening?
Chilling. How are you?
I'm good. I was just explaining to everybody the kind of rock star you are and your grind and your independent grind and shit like that.
Yeah, man.
But a lot of people know who you are and shit. You know what I mean? You know what's funny? They'd be surprised that you and I are really, really close friends and shit like that. You know what I mean? For a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They always. I don't know why they're surprised.
Well, one would think because you do rock and roll and they perceive me to only do rap, and they might think because you're white and I'm black. But what they don't understand is you and I have a common ground. It's the fight. It's that independent fight. I think that's what it is. What you think?
Independent spirit. Yeah, definitely.
Because
Work,
you had a
work.
deal, and when I knew you and you had a deal, you was a grumpy motherfucker all the time. You had the label used to make you sick. Word. But then I saw you do it yourself. Not only do you put your own records out, even though you'll get distribution, but you also manage yourself. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, now you're crazy. But you do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to find a really good manager. That's a difficult thing. I think a lot of people don't want to get into it. And also, paying somebody 15% of the gross actually turns out about 50% of what you're making. And unless that person's really doubling what you pay taxes at the end of the year, I don't think that, I think it's really difficult. Plus, you got to find somebody really, really passionate about what you do and also has the hustle to do all the different things. A lot of managers like to, put this on the publicist or put that on the radio department or put that on the agent or just they kind of manage everybody's that works in the whole team as opposed to like being able to go and knock on a door of a radio station or try to themselves link up a Spotify channel or something like that. I think you need that hustle in a real manager, more so than even contacts. If you have somebody that's really passionate about your stuff, and
You do
also,
your own merch too.
yeah, and being innovative and not just putting those pieces together. I think is really important.
But I've seen you on the road, right? I've seen you before your show. Go make sure your merch shit was right. Go make sure all your lights is right. Make sure your show is right. You take care of everything. But a lot of artists don't understand that if they don't take care of things, things won't get done the right way.
No, they're never going to be done right. So it always, I mean, people, managers, I think this is the big misconception is that managers say, well, don't, you don't have to do that, just do the art. And I think that's where a lot of artists become broke. And it's really unfortunate. A lot of artists over the years have become broke and also not that have problems with substances and all these other things that can take away because their family gets broken up by the rigorous tour schedules or also the artists usually come from a place that's not in a secure kind of background emotionally. I don't think a lot of artists have a lot of emotional intelligence, and I'm saying that because I was one of those people early on,
Right.
where had to build in and grow to that emotional intelligence because I don't think it's something that you know there's usually been some trauma in most artists' life. So it's like there's trauma in everyone's life, but artists will talk about it or somehow put it through their music so that they're reliving that when they do their music.
Now, what I want people to do on this that don't know you, because a lot of people do, and some people are actually bringing up your wife, Alice Smith, who's probably the best female singer on the planet. Her pipes are ridiculous. But everybody, if you don't know who Cope is, I want y'all to Google him, or I want y'all to go and really listen to his music. And he's one of my like top 5 favorite artists of all time. And it's funny because I met him at his show. A girl was like, "Yo, I need you to see this dude," and I saw it and I went backstage, and from then on we were friends just because I liked what he was singing about. He got this shit penitentiary, it's off the hook. And his wife Alice Smith, Google her as well and listen to that. Now here's the thing, right? You're a pure artist to the extent that you don't have to have a record on the radio, but you tour the majority of the year. How does an artist do that? I know, and I've always used you as an example of artists, and I say, you know, there'll be an artist that I know that's on the radio, and they don't do shows. They're only doing shows in clubs because they want to have 100 motherfuckers on the club and perform over a track, and they can't get booked and get any real money, because they don't, So I'll say, how does a guy like Citizen Cope make more money than you, but he's never really had a record on the radio to commercial success? How do you keep and stay on the road every year, all year? And sometimes you don't even put out an album sometimes for a year or two,
Well,
and you still stay on the road. How does that happen?
you got to build that audience. It's not, I mean, it's great if you had it, but I was like, my number one goal was to be like, well, if there's no radio, how am I going to still be able to sustain and be able to make music? And it was that important to me. So I just started out like if I didn't get booked in a club, I would rent a sound system and go to a place that was just a bar and just open up the door, have my guy at the door. So people can always say, oh, I can't get a club, but you can always go to a bar you go to and say, hey, on a slow night, I'll bring in a sound system and do it myself
Dope.
and have your friends or
Drop that light.
whatever. But I mean, it's really about getting real fans. I think that's the problem. Everybody's a musician. Everybody has a rap tape. Everyone has a rock tape. Everyone sings, but it's like how much you really want it to where you're going to go out and build your own 100 people in your own home city. If you can't get 100 people in your own home city, then or 50 people to come out to your shows by starting at open mics and then going and doing the hitting everybody up to see if you can open. But really, it's about establishing yourself as a headliner, and by doing that, you're starting you're starting your own thing. And
Right.
and 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 the best thing I ever did was did a residency in the Northeast where I did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Boston, New York, Philly, DC, and that helped. But it takes a while, and then
Now,
they the records get on. You get lucky with a license here or there, and then you make it. I mean, it's really about the record. Best thing I did was before streaming and all that stuff. I convinced the label to give my record away, and they printed like 10,000 records of Clarence Green recordings before the album came out, and I gave them out. So there was a buzz on the record before. But it's really
Now,
about, you know, now it's a whole different thing. Is people got to get YouTube streams and everything else, but you know, how do you find those YouTube people that are going to listen, or how do you find the people going to follow you? And now it's through I guess a lot of, if you get lucky and have somebody feature you on an album, you know, that helps. But if you can't, if you're just going independent, you gotta figure out how to because right now, I mean, you're gonna have to do the hard work anyway. So people have the idea that, oh, if I get signed, they're gonna do it. But anybody signs you, even back in the day, they wanted the single. Every time I got signed, I had this single already done. It wasn't like, oh,
right.
okay, got talent, da 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 da. The single was done.
Now, you know what's crazy is when I see an artist now, I'm like, yo, I got to see your show. I don't even care about your single. And I learned a lot of that from just listening to what you're saying. And I think the people that are listening need to understand that he's coming from an experience. Like, he's been doing this for a while. And he's been one of the few that have been successful at it and at this level on his own. You said some things
Well,
that I think I want people to
there's one thing
understand. You
I just
said,
want there's one thing I want to clarify, Dame, is that, you know, there's artists that you've never heard of, that nobody probably on here has ever heard of, that make a good living, play all over the world. You know, they might have a niche in Scandinavia somewhere, but they're able to have. Is there a plug around here by any chance?
ooh, yeah, that shit, that's some coke playing in the background. Also, let me say this real fast. So Cope's a general. I called Cope and I was like, yo, because Cope's a guy that's used to being on the road. And now I've seen him doing a lot of stuff virally and stuff. And I'm like, yo, I got a studio. You could do some shit. He's like, man, I already rented a house and I'm doing shows from here and he's doing music. So you have to adjust. Now, I don't know if he's still there. I think I might have lost him. But let me see if I think I might have lost him. But the next question I ask him, and I'm sure he'll get back on, is what do you do now that you can't do live shows? If you're an artist, how are you gonna adjust? You know? So I'm looking at what Erykah Badu's doing, and that shit is fly. But that's Erykah Badu. Not everybody could do that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out now, how are you gonna build your brand without going outside? You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of easy, right? You got Instagram, you got cameras. Content is key right now. Having a direct communication with your consumer is key right now. That's why I'm with y'all right now. Every day you see I made a commitment, I'm going to go live. Because the people that I want to understand my point of view, I actually have the ability to talk directly to y'all. So y'all don't have to read about what I'm thinking. Y'all don't have to see somebody else give you an interpretation of what's going on in my life. Because if they gave you an interpretation, if you let the papers tell it, I live in a hut. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing shit. You know, they want me to look like I'm failing when I'm winning. So we have the ability right now to control the narrative. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter what they say. All that matters is what you're doing. But you got to be doing something. Got to be doing something. And if you're not doing nothing, then nothing's going to happen. No change will happen unless you make a change, unless you make it happen, unless you are positive about it, unless you feel strong about it. Life is like a ring. I'm never getting into a ring and I think I'm going to lose. I get in that ring, I'm 100%, I'm winning. There's no me losing, and I'm not getting out of there losing. And I'm going to fight as if I won. Even if I lost, I won because I fought 100%. So even if things don't work out in what I'm doing now, I won because I gave 100%. I took this opportunity and I didn't let it slide every second. So if you have an opportunity, then you have to jump all over that shit. Right now, there's an opportunity to figure out how to do it different because it's going to be a new world. Right now, it's an opportunity to come out winning ahead in the new world, not behind. And that's what you got to think about, period. And, you know, if you on this live, if you on my network, if you on my Instagram, you only there to push forward. If you there to leave a stupid comment, it means you're insecure, you're a coward, and you hate your life. And you know you want to spread all that negative energy to other people. But on this live, this is all for being positive, all for evolving, all for us getting better, all for fighting for love, all for getting healthy, all of those things. To be like-minded, to focus energy, and then to go make our dreams come true. But if you don't have a dream, then what the fuck is gonna come true? You have to have a purpose. You got to have a purpose. You know? Oh, you wanna know what's fucked up? Big shout out to Peter Beard. Peter Beard died. He's an artist. Maybe y'all Google him. I got one of his pieces on my wall. It's fucked up because I'm sad. But you know, that just means all his art went up. This right here is the original Peter Beard. That's like real blood on there. But he passed. Dang. He passed. Oh, Cope's back on. Hold on, let me get Cope. I got Cope's coming back on. So like I said, Cope's a real rock star. If you have a chance, you got another phone, computer, Google him. Hey yo, Peter Beard died.
Yeah, man, that's sad. I remember that picture you had. I saw an
I still got
exhibition.
it. Look.
Yeah, I know. I just saw it. Yeah, amazing.
I caught that motherfucker at an auction with Sophia.
I caught. Remember when he had that big exhibition on the on the pier on the west side? It was like those huge pictures he did.
Giuseppe used to fuck with him tough. He got mad Peter Beards in his in Cipriani's. Mad Peter Beards.
Oh.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Cope.
Yeah.
So number one, when you had brought up a residency, people don't understand what a residency is. What exactly is a residency? Can you explain that? Because everything you're saying is what I tell them all the time. Do a residency, get alive. I'm telling you.
Residency is when you go to a city every week.
Get out of here. Hi.
Hey, what's up, Rocky?
I caught him. I was like, go live, go live. I caught him one thing. I was like, go live. I got him.
Congratulations.
Good to see you, Cope.
Oh, wait,
all right.
Yeah, that one's low. That's low. But yo, what were you saying? I'm sorry. Residency is what?
When you go to you play in a city every week, so you can do. I would do like Boston on Tuesday, Philly on Wednesday, New York on Thursday, DC on Friday. So I did a month like that, where I did it, and I didn't really even have, the capacity. But like I said, I'd given away a lot of records. I had the first record out, and I hadn't started, even after my first album, I hadn't really be able to sell many tickets. And so I just, I went to Philly and realized, I could sell 100 tickets here. I was like, okay, this is great. And I was between management and all this stuff. And then some of the places were slow, and by the end of the residency, there was a bunch of people there. So I think it's important, even if you just do it in your own place, you got to build your own hometown, and there's really no excuse for it, except for the fact people are waiting to be perceived as bigger than they are. And I think one of the thing is you have to just, take that L sometimes and play in front of 3 people. And I went to Boston one time after I did a tour with Carlos Santana, and literally there were 2 people in the room. And one of them was the sound man. and actually that happened to me a couple times. So it's like one time in Asbury Park, and the guy had to give me like $400, and I stayed in a cheap hotel. I said, just give me $80 for the hotel, and I'm not gonna hit you over the head for that. But like, it was
How did you book? How did you book in other towns? Like, you're from New York or Washington. How did you book in these other towns? Because that's another people. Like, how do I book?
I didn't start doing that. For one, early on, like I said, in DC, when I didn't have a booking agent, I would just, you know, obviously I would hit up the clubs that did do shows and ask to open and establish those relationships over the course of time. But most of the time I would rent a $250 sound system with somebody to run it and bring it into a bar that I would know that didn't do live music or maybe occasionally did live music.
Right. You
And
said that, yeah.
have my person at the door and charge $3 at the door and hopefully make the money back for the sound system. But it's like something that you have to really start and build up. You know, I think that a lot of people don't play live for some reason. I know people that have record deals that don't play live or had
You
record
can't play
deals.
live. They're not good. That's why.
Well, a
They're
lot
not
of
good.
people are really good, but they're not going to. They're.
They got to
I
rehearse.
think
You got to rehearse.
they. I think people are really good, but a lot of times they want. Oh, I can see myself only playing for 1,000 people or 10,000 people, or when I got stage and lights, and like you have to really humble yourself and be like, I'll go out there and play. You know, I mean, if you can't eventually get 100 people, like there's two things in my life that I've come by. If you can't walk outside and you don't have any money, if you can't figure out in your own hometown, you can't walk outside and legally make $100, then it's gonna really be hard for you to do this.
That's true.
If you can't go, if you don't have the humility to go out and get a squeegee and or a bunch of water and try to sell some water out on the street or some soda or wash some windows or go up to people's houses and ask to clean their gutters or do their windows or shit like that. And the other thing is, if you can't get 100 people in a room or even 75 people in a room in your hometown, and the fact is, your hometown's going to be hardest on you because they're not going to love you until you've made it in other cities. A lot of times you can't even get that acknowledgement in your home area until when I moved to New York and started doing it there, my DC thing started really opening up. But
Right.
I didn't have a huge following or a sustainable following and until I started getting records out, and then people could identify with the records. Then even when I had some good records, the record flopped big time, the first, and then I was just like, let me take this in my own hands. I got sick of people asking me about my music, and I just gave it to them, and I think that was even a more challenging thing because you could give somebody, now everybody has a streaming thing, so you could tell somebody, oh, go stream it on Spotify. But that's a step away. I would carry CDs and just give them to them. So I think that was an advantage back in the day. I mean, I gave you a couple hundred CDs when we first met.
Yeah, you did. You did. And I
You
probably
know,
gave you a couple of hundred back.
yeah,
Same
yeah.
shit.
I
But
mean,
let me ask.
by giving that music out, probably 1,000 people got reached, if not more,
More hand in
with that.
hand. You got to go hand in hand. Now,
Yeah,
let me ask you this, Cope. For the next year, at least, the whole model as it's existed for artists has sort of been obliterated as it
yeah.
relates to live shows and being able to get money on the road. Now, you're an artist that is on the road the majority of the year. How is an artist like yourself, a professional artist, going to adjust in this time? Just
Well, it's going to
knowing
be
that.
tough, man. It's like back to that humility thing. I mean, I think artists have to always innovate. So we've innovated since way back in the day when this when the corporations bought all the independent record companies. That was the first one, and then it became corporate. And then when Napster came, and then when Steve Jobs came and like devalued the music and YouTube's and all that other stuff, and people just started streaming everything for free, and 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 now for years everyone's saying, oh, you make all your money in tour and merch, you make all your money in tour and merch, and people started, you know, listening to that dialogue as if their music wasn't valuable. Whereas like, there was artists living off their royalties for years, and that became impossible. So right now, it's just about innovating new ways to be able to figure out how to do this, because I don't see the mass gatherings happening for a long, long time. And a lot of people are, even the venues that used to be able to play, they might be going out of business. And I think, whatever it is, I mean, I got a couple ideas that, whether it's, friggin', house concerts or whatever the thing is going to happen, or even going back to smaller clubs, if smaller places open, and doing residencies there, 3 or 4 nights there kind of thing, where it's like, I think, a lot of different, but my feeling is that they're gonna open it up anyway, because there's so much money being lost, and the people are not gonna really be going out, and then Live
People
Nation's
gonna get
gonna have
sick
what's that?
until there's a cure, medically, whatever vaccine. Can't go outside. Everything is an experiment. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was
So I
thinking
think
about it. I'm like, when they tell us
the
to go
live,
outside, they just want to see what's going to happen, and they're going to say come back inside. It's just an
yeah,
experiment. I'm not going to be a
the
lab
live,
rat.
the
I'm not
live
doing that.
streaming, the live streaming is gonna be big. I think that um, the pay-per-view thing's going to be, but my question is anybody going to have the money, because they can't afford to do anything right now? I think we've lost, it's people, mom and pop restaurants that I go to, all these, I just don't know how they're sustained. And I think it's a real, it's really that spirit of somebody saying, I have a dream, I'm going to open this restaurant, or I'm going to open this hair salon or barbershop or anything. That's really what starts great entrepreneurship, from a very small thing. And that, I think the artists have to realize, like, they look at the big and famous people. That's not like they can't get like that, but there's tons of ways to, you have to build up the plateau. Like I saw Drake's first show in New York at SOB's, and he had the mixtape out, and I think he was like doing backups for Lil Wayne at the time, but he had established like a big buzz in New York, but he was still playing SOB's. And there was a lot of heat on his record. He hadn't signed yet, so a bunch of label people were there. But when I saw him, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be huge, because he's got like, it was the first time, because back in the day, there was never girls in the audience, and there were some girls in the audience, so it was like, I think that has changed. More girls like hip hop now, and but early on, I think they liked it, but they didn't, early on, rap shows, it wasn't like that, you know,
Well, he kind of
diverse.
combined R&B. He found that common ground in hip hop and R&B, that
Yeah,
direct common ground. So it's
right.
not quite a slow dance, but it's still something the girl can kind of access, and it's not so
Yeah,
aggressive.
and it's
But
emotional.
at the end of the day, he performs and he was putting out mixtapes and he was working harder than anybody.
Yeah,
But
so he had his thing. So people look at, yeah, that great mixtape. That mixtape was amazing. So it's like that you got to make a really, really fucking great record. Like, it can't be on some old, oh, this is as good as this guy. Like, you can't compare your shit to that guy, because you got to be better than that. And it's like, I always say Rihanna's record, that Umbrella record, when she got that record, that
that was the
took
record.
her like, she blew everybody out of the box. Like, once she did that, she could afford to experiment, and other records came, and she made great. And like this last album she did, she had a couple really great songs on it. I think that,
And she could afford to hire Amanda Silverman.
well,
You know,
I mean,
you get that right
yeah, but
publicist too. It's a formula to have a certain kind of pop success.
yeah. I
But
mean,
at
obviously,
some point,
she has everything. But I'm saying,
right?
to even
No, I
get
get
to
what you're
that
saying.
point,
I get
to
exactly what
even
you're
get to
saying.
that point where somebody wanted to say, let me buy this song so
And let
Rihanna
me
can do
invest so
it.
you could go bigger.
And
Yeah.
instead of, it's like, because Mary J was supposed to get that record. I think Tricky and Dream did that song. So it's like, I
Mary
think
J was
Mary
supposed
J.
to have that
Blige,
record?
she was supposed to have that record.
And why she didn't have
And
it?
LA came in and bought that record.
Good move, LA.
He's like, I
Karen
gotta
Qua.
have it.
I remember those days.
And
That's
so,
a good move.
he, he had to, you have to look at that you have to have everything around you. But in order to get there, you have to fucking build yourself. And if you're too scared to, or if you're too humble to go out and, like if you can't make $100 in a day anywhere you go, and if you can't get 75 people or 50 people or 100 people in your hometown, it's probably not gonna happen.
Exactly.
And I'm not
Now,
talking about $100 doing some illegal shit. I'm saying go and fucking find a way to, do it.
right.
Go
Now,
go
one
get
of the ways that you were ahead of the game for the adjustment is you had already started working on your television show. So you got a television show, and you're gonna let me. You already have it out, but you're gonna let me put it on Dame Dash Studios, and everyone can see exactly how you can showcase your talent without coming out of pocket, and still capture it and do something that can give you some residual income. I think if
yeah.
all artists made television shows, and not just talk shows, but like something where their point of view as, because an artist is an artist, right? Like an artist is creative on every level, a real artist. So if you're good at music, you're going to be good at doing something film related, or at least until it's good, you're not going to put it out. And whatever gets captured is going to be special, because if someone loves to watch you sing, they're going to love to watch you act. That was always my thing. The reason why I did Streets is Watching, I was like, well, who are the biggest artists? Elvis, he made movies. Prince, he made movies. Diana Ross, she made movies. Michael Jackson, she made movies. The people you remember because they're on a big screen over and over again singing, and people keep
Pink
buying it. It gives you
Floyd
residual income.
Pink Floyd made movie.
Pink Floyd made movies, you know, and those are the ones you remember, the ones that give you a visual. And really, Rockefeller did not crack until we did Streets is Watching, you know. And it was funny because there was that Babyface battle, and I was like, I know for sure he ain't gonna play Sunshine, the one with Jay and Babyface, because that record almost killed us. And because of that stupid ass record and that stupid ass video that Hype made us fucking shoot, or Jay decided to let Hype shoot, we almost went out of business. And the only thing that saved us with Streets is Watching was the movie. But once we did that movie, we were out of there. It was the record. It was like the movie combined with Hard Knock Life, and it was gone. But also we had like 4 records on the radio at one time. So it was also like we had to be super active and be stimulating everything. We had to have movies, visual. We had to have all these publicists. We had to have records, But at the end of the day, the margin sucked. We were spending too much money, to be famous, and we weren't spending enough time into like making having a good margin, not spending enough, but really getting the residual income, something that's going to give you money later in life. But it's always, and that's the reason why I got into the television business and got into capturing content, because of the residual income, you know, and that's where we're at now. But anyway, I said all that to say, what's your TV show about?
Well, basically, I'm on tour. It's a travel and tour show. So I'm basically I'm on the road, and it's what I do outside. So and it's highlighting mom and pop businesses, small businesses, but really mom and pop restaurants, uh, vintage clothing stores. There was a massage parlor. There was all these different places that I would necessarily go to. Interesting people, and I've found there's a lot of stars out in the world, and they're not just on television or in the movie. There's stars among us. So it's like so many interesting conversation, interesting characters that you meet out there. And we had this one guy that had a distillery, and he was a 7th generation moonshiner, and his grandfather was indicted in a huge federal thing. He was in Virginia, in the moonshine capital of the world, and his grandfather was a fiddler, and he also did moonshine. They did moonshine for generations and generations. And it just became legal to make it a distillery, so he started his own distillery, and we went there. We went to an amazing place in Chattanooga where there's a hotel that that every room, it's 17 rooms, they're all decorated differently.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it's all the furniture is comes from estate sales, and so it's just like you find really cool things that you're not going to find in the corporate landscape, and that people put their sweat equity into. This is the type of shit that people copy and will be copying and making these, you know, like kind of, chains one day. So that's where chains come from. Like pizza was not a chain when people were just selling it, out of their pizza shop in New York. And then it became so popular, people were like, oh, let me make this chain idea. So I mean, I think we just find the right people in the right places and highlight those things, and also a little bit of what it's like to be on tour.
That's dope. That's dope. So we'll be able to premiere that on DDS for my fans, and they can check it out. I'll give you I'll put the trailer up and shit, and then we'll put it up there and people can see it. And I think that's dope. Let me ask you this, real fast. So are you gonna be releasing any music during the Corona?
Yeah, I got an acoustic album out. I just put out a song about 2 weeks ago called Scared of Heights. It deals with fear. You can check it out on all the streaming services now.
You got new music out right now?
Yeah, I just put a new single out 2 weeks ago called Scared of Heights.
You want some bullshit, Cope? You ain't even send me that, Cope.
Well, it's just the acoustic version, and I'm gonna do like 7 mixes on it for like a reggae version and kind of like more like a contemporary version, kind of go different ways. So any remixers out there have any ideas, let me know.
Wait a second. Say that again.
I said if any remixers out there online right now, anybody think they got something, take a shot at it.
Okay, so I'm gonna just tell you right now. I'm taking all the records I like of yours, and I'm remaking them with the Black Guns. I'm telling you that right now. And I'm not gonna even ask you about clearing it. I'm just putting the shit out. I'm doing it. I'm telling you right now. I promise you. And then we gonna tour. Can we go? Can we do a show when this shit opens back up? Could you and I do a show, Black Guns and Coke?
Yeah, we'll do it at Yankee Stadium.
I mean, it's probably gonna be for sale after that, bro. But that's where I'm on my way. After this shit, you know what I'm saying? What would you say is your biggest market?
I would say New York, tri-state area. DC's big, Seattle's big, Texas is big. Like Austin, Houston, Dallas, all are pretty big. Parts of Florida, like St. Petersburg, Denver area, San Francisco.
Your Hawaii game is kind of on point.
Hawaii's good. It's just they lack the venues in Hawaii, so it's a little difficult. I go out there and play, but it's like it's hard to get the venues unless you're playing the real big places. So
it's a good place to go on vacation and play some music and go back to the beach. I can tell you that. Yeah. I had a ball. I called Cope. I was like, I'm going to one of his spots in Hawaii. As soon as I got off the plane, I had no problems with anything. I was good. It was great.
Yeah.
Nothing. I didn't need nothing. You know what I needed? I had it. Pause. I was good. Money. You feel me?
Oh yeah, my man Thomas picked you up out there.
Did you see the radio show I did with him?
No.
Oh, you didn't see it?
He was on the radio. You were on his station?
Yeah. When they accused me of that shit, that dumb shit with that girl, and that's how I went. I was in Hawaii. I did an interview. I'll send it to you. I did a whole interview. I put it up. It's on the streaming service.
All right.
We had a ball, man. He was cool as fuck. I fucks with him. And then, do you know that girl out there with the German Shepherd?
I'm not sure.
She definitely, because she was with, she had, Nicolette, what was that girl's name with the German Shepherd? Amber, right? You know Amber?
Yeah.
She had that big ass German Shepherd that's fetch. Well, anyway, she got a dog, a German Shepherd. I love it. He about to have puppies. I want that shit, but I gotta get a house for that shit. But I need that shit. I love that dog, man. I love that German Shepherd. I'll show you. I'll send it to you. Word. Yo, your signal is dead.
All right. Check out the new single, Scared of Heights.
Where can they get it?
Everywhere. All the streaming services.
Yo, send it to me so I can post it up, bro. You know I like to help.
All right, thank you.
Send me everything, man. Don't stop playing, man.
Working on some new shit too.
So. Yo, let's just tell the world how I've been trying to convince you to do a record company with me for 10 years.
Oh my goodness.
I've been like, yo, Coke, you see how he talks that business? I'm a businessman. He know the business, and he could tour any act. So if you want to break an act, a real boss coach, general will say, yo, let me lead the team. So people don't know, like, you were the guy that was like, used to let Gary Clark open up for you. You always pass the assist. That's another reason why I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But if you had some artists and you toured them around, I was like, let's get some artists. But now I'm going to be the artist, and me and you are going on tour. Alice Smith, all our kids, and we going on tour. I don't care what you say. It's going to be money out there. How about that?
This guy says cope high as fuck. Yo, I stopped smoking weed a long time ago because I'm allergic to it.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You still smoke that tobacco, but you definitely...
It used to be my favorite thing to do was smoke. And
that was whack when you stopped smoking, Cope.
I've been sneezing and all that shit. Well, I was sneezing. I had like an allergic reaction. I was like, what the fuck am I allergic to? I went out of the country where I couldn't smoke, and I stopped sneezing. I was like, oh, shit.
Know, bro.
But no, seriously, literally, if I go into a grow room, I start itching. So it's not. It's real.
Yo, I got this record I made. I might need you to give me a vocal on it. It goes, Assalamu alaikum, shalom. I think I could take 'em alone. Shit is hard. I did it already. It's hard. I did it. I was on the.
This motherfucker saying I'm coke. I'm high. I ain't fucking high.
Nigga, you look high, Coke. You always look high. You just look high. You know that.
My eyes go like this.
Nah, you just, you be. Nigga, I can ask you a question. You might answer 2 hours later sometime. I'll be like, what you was smoking? You know what I mean? You just take your time. That's all. They don't know that about you.
Yeah.
You just patient. You a funny motherfucker. Yo, y'all don't know this is a funny guy, yo. I promise y'all that. Y'all that. All right,
Let me
bro.
get back. All right. I got to get back.
Listen. You going to send that to me?
Yeah, I'm going to send it.
All right. And if you want, I'll go on your Instagram, I saw you had Kelly Slater on there and all that and shit like that. You ain't called me.
Yeah, I got you coming up.
All right, let me know anytime. But I'm gonna call you later offline so I can get the other thing.
All right, man. Be sure.
All right, bro. Thank you. Yeah, that's my coat. You know what I'm saying? And you'd be surprised who ends up being your real friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cope is a real good guy, good dude, solid, and he stands up for what he believes in. Eats healthy, good family, good dude, good dude. And that's what I try to keep my circle tight with, just people that are like, like-minded thinkers that only want to push forward, be creative, don't bend the knee, But at the end of the day, they got to do fly shit. And he does fly shit. So I fuck with him. And he's a good dude. So anyway, I'm about to go. I think I'm going to go to work because I got work to do. You know what I mean? Just like when he got off with me, he went to work. When I get off this, I'm going to work. When y'all get off this, go to work. Go do something. Go get a notebook and go write down 10 ideas. And write down another 10 ideas. And write down another 10 ideas. If you can't, one out of them 30 going to work. If you don't push your brain, it's not going to work. Go call somebody to stimulate ideas. Like, I call the bishop now early in the morning. I talk to him, and after I get off the phone with him, I'll be having like 4 ideas. So I'll be like, you know what? I got to keep talking to him. You know, if I talk to somebody that stimulates an idea, I keep talking to that person. If I talk to a person that when I get off the phone, I have a bad energy, I feel negative, I don't talk to that person no more unless I have to. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you have to surround your energy with the like-minded energy or the energy that you want. You'll get away from the energy that you don't want, or else it will get all over you, just like Corona. And the energy that I'm trying to get on y'all is to find the light in the dark, to be innovative, to work hard, to be honorable, play the game fair, stay safe, and have a purpose. Fight for love. Love somebody before you love yourself. Practice helping people. And I promise, when you help people, it'll feel good, and there'll be people that will fucking treat you like shit, feel entitled, and that will be your test to see if you will continue to love. You understand what I'm saying? Some people don't know how to receive love because they don't know how to give it, and they don't even understand it. They don't know what love is. You want to help those people, but if they don't let it break your heart. Just let them keep learning on their own. You know, not everybody evolves at the same pace. And you can't judge people for that. You just got to get the fuck away from that as it relates to music. And I'm not in music, he is. So I got a real rock star to tell you how to have a rock career. And he told you from, real honest place, being humble and everything. He did not have to do that. And that was free. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you get when you on this live. You get information. Apply it. Peace.